Welcome back guys, this is Shrikant. Today we are going to discuss about one of the important interview question. This question is very basic, it is very simple, but sometimes it's very complicated. It's difficult for experienced person also to give answer if it's going without the basic preparation, right? So today's question is how many primary key I can create on a single table, right? This is basic question and everyone know about this, right? If I ask you this question, you'll simply say, yeah, one primary key. If there is a one table on a one single table, there'll always be one single primary key. It's optional obviously, but if you want to create primary key on a table, you can't create more than one. Okay. Second question he will ask you, how many index get created when we create primary key on a table? The index. Okay. So only one index get created when we create a primary key on a table. That index is basically the cluster index. The cluster index will get automatically created. So he can ask you another question. How many cluster index we can create on a single table? So answer is 1. We can only create a single cluster index on a table. Why? Why so? Because when the cluster index get created, the structure of that B tree structure. So whenever the cluster index get created on a table, the data gets stored in order on a disk in a physical way, obviously, right? So there could be always be a one physical order for anything. So when I say I created cluster index on a table, it means that I only have one single cluster index on a table. It get created when we create primary key on a table. Fine. Can I see that? How practical you can do that? Yeah, I can. I can simply write a query like create table. It's a simple table. Create table. There I'm going to add two columns. The first column is ID. Another column is value. The ID basically having a data type as int and the value has a data type equal to varchar of 100, right? And I'm going to define ID as a primary key. Okay, fine. Let's create it. I just executed the query and I'm going to see the definition for this table. So how would I do that? Just select the table name and do Alt F1. Okay, so when you do Alt F1, it basically pull the structure for you from the system. So let's try to understand. I just created a table name as a demo underscore one. It's a user table and that it will show you the time. Fine. So it has a two column. The first column is ID and data type is in. Second column is a value and data type is a varchar. Fine. You'll also see the length, right? And it doesn't have any identity. Fine. Doesn't have the row GUID column. Fine. Okay, data located on file group, primary file group, default file group, that's fine. Then I can see here there is a primary key, right? There is a primary key and the name is pk underscore demo underscore one. This is the default constraint. Basically primary key is a constraint. This is a constraint created automatically, which I haven't created, right? So I haven't created means I haven't given name for that. So this constraint primary key has been created, that's fine, but I haven't given any clause or any idea to the compiler or the database engine that I'm going to create primary key, which is fine, but I never say create a cluster on that. So what does it mean? It means that whenever you create a primary key on any table in relational database management system, automatically a cluster unique primary key get created on that table, which is fine. So let's go back to our original question. How many primary key I can create on a single table? So this is a one. So I'm going to do what now? I'm going to create another table. Just, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to giving another constraint, right, which is basically primary key. I'm trying to create two primary key on a table. Does it allow me? Let's see. Or will I see any error? Wait, let's see. I can see here the error. And what's the error? Error is cannot add multiple primary key constraint to the table demo2. Why? Because it's a relational database management rule that you can't create more than one primary key on a single table, which is fine. Now, person will ask you, okay, that's fine. I totally agree with that. You can always create one single primary key on a table. But if I want to create another key which will behave like a primary key, how could I do that? Give me the scenario, give me the live demonstration. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another table, let's say demo underscore 2. There, I'm going to add ID as a primary key. And val is as like that. Okay, to create another key as a primary key, I'm going to tell you the actual condition which you need to consider for satisfying the column to make it as a primary key is every column which we decide as a primary key column never have null value, right? Another condition is value should be unique. Value should be unique or not duplicate. This is a condition for making any key as a primary key. Okay, so now let's think about, if I want to make like that, what are the different thing I have. So simple solution, I'm going to tell you that you have one constraint, right? Unique constraint. So you can make column as a unique, right? So you can go with a constant or you can go with the index also. I'm going to make it simple, so I'm going with a unique index. So let's create this table. Let's insert some data. Okay, I'm going to insert data into this table. Data will get loaded. Fine. So I'm going to make value basically as a primary key type column. Likewise, right? I'm going to make it so it should never accept a null value and it should never have duplicate value. Let's do that. So how you could do that? For that we need to do one thing. We need to create index. We need to create basically which index? Unique index. So we are going to create a unique index on which column? Value column. On, then you get to go table name, then column name. So this is the way to create, right? But okay, okay, we just created it. Let's insert some values. Let's say 3. Repeating the Rohit. Oh yeah. Single. Oh, I got error. What's that? Cannot insert duplicate key row in an object demo with unique index. Okay, that's fine. But another condition is that we should not able to insert the null value. Let's try with that. Will it accept null or not? Oh, it accepted. Let's run the table. Let's run the query. Let's see. Select start from this table. Let's run it. Now we can see one single value, because whenever you create a unique constraint or unique index, it will allow you to insert a single null value, right? Let's try to insert another null inside that. Oh, violation. Okay, make it 4. Let's try that. Cannot insert duplicate key. Yeah, right. Right. So it is basically allowing you to insert one single null. So to avoid that, what we need to do, we need to add a constraint not null on that respective column. So let's drop that table. This is fine. Drop that table. Then create this table. Just we added not null. Then what will we do? We will create index. You'll find the script below the video. So what we did, we created a unique index on a table. We create not null. Now what are we going to do? We are going to insert the data into the table. Let's do that. So I'm going to add row here. Okay, let's add first 2 individual row. Yeah, it got loaded. Fine. Now we are going to add one row, which is basically the duplicate value for the value column. Let's see, does it accept? Oh, it's saying it's a duplicate. Fine. Now we are going to pass here the null value. Now let's see, it should not accept. So cannot insert the null value into the column value. Oh, why I can't? Because we don't allow. So whenever I say it's a primary key, so what does it mean? It means that it will never have the null value. It will never allow to insert the null value for that column. And second condition, value should be unique. So same thing, by creating the unique index and the not null constraint on the table, we can achieve the same functionality. The same thing you can make it for another column, like you can make it for the second, third column, fourth column, right? So there is no such restriction. Idea is basically, and the question was how many primary key we can create on a single table. The answer is you can only create a single primary key. But if you want to make a functionality like that, then you need to go for the unique index along with not null constant on a table, right? So I knew this is basically the long video, but the concept was very important, and I hope you guys understood and enjoyed our video related with this question. And please let me know if you have any doubt. I'll definitely try to comment over the comment section, and if you still want to make this video a refill, I'll definitely do that. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.